Today's lesson is on solving proportions. First, we need to know what a proportion is. A proportion is two equal fractions or two equivalent fractions. Examples: 6/8 is equal to 3/4. That means 6/8 and 3/4 form a proportion. 1/2 is equal to 5/10. Therefore, 1/2 and 5/10 form a proportion. So how do we tell if we have a proportion or not? There are two ways. One way is to reduce both of your fractions. So if you had 6/15 equals 4/10 and you wanted to know if this was actually true, you could reduce 6/15 by 3 and get 2/5. And you could reduce 4/10 by 2 and get 2/5. 2/5 equals 2/5, so this is a proportion. Another example, if you had 4/6 equals 5/10, is this a proportion? Is this true? Reduce 4/6 by dividing by 2, you get 2/3. Reduce 5/10 by dividing by 5, and you get 1/2. 2/3 does not equal 1/2, therefore this is not a proportion. This is not a true statement. The second way you can tell if you have a proportion is to use cross products like we did yesterday. If you have 6/15 equals 4/10, you can multiply 6/10, or 6 times 10, you can multiply 15 times 4, and you get 60 equals 60. That means this is a proportion. If you have 4/6 equals 5/10, you multiply 4 times 10, and you multiply 6 times 5. 4 times 10 is 40, 6 times 5 is 30. This is not a proportion. You can also use cross products to solve a proportion for an unknown. If you have an x in a proportion, you can use cross products to find out what that x stands for. If you have x/6 equals 4/8, multiply the x times the 8, that's 8x, multiply the 6 times the 4, that's 24. 8x equals 24. Think how you solve an equation, divide by 8, and so x is 3. Another example, if you had 9/12 equals 15/x, multiply 9 times x, that's 9x. Multiply 12 times 15, that's 180. 9x equals 180, divide both sides by 9, x equals 20. Solve the proportion for an unknown by using cross products. I want you to use those two processes that we have just looked at, and as an assignment for tomorrow, I want you to, on number 1 and 2, find out if these are proportions. You can either use cross products or you can just simplify your fractions. And for number 3 and number 4, I want you to solve for x, solve for your unknown.